How to productize and package your experience, your skills, your knowledge, or your value. How to productize it and package it in a way that somebody can understand it and pay for it. You see, there are many people on this call right now. You have so much that the world can buy from you, can consume from you as value, but your challenge is you don't know how to productize it and how to package it in a way it can become something that somebody can understand it and pay for it. I often say that an idea, value, skills that you have not productized will always be misunderstood, underlooked, or ignored because nobody will pay for what they don't understand and for what they don't see how it will impact their outcomes or advance their lives. One of the most powerful skills I believe that anybody should have, and I've seen the impact of this skill in my life, is to know how to productize, to convert ideas, skills, value, whatever that you can bring into your industry, into a product, into a package that anybody who has eyes or ears and a mind can understand it, can see it, can hear about it, and decides that this is a value I need to consume this value, therefore I need to pay for it. One of the major skills that can help you to take that idea from your mind for it to become a money-making idea is what you're about to learn today. There are many of you in companies that when you learn these skills, you can take it, go practice it there, and become a high-value employee. So today we're focusing on how to productize and package either your value, your skills, your experience, or anything that you want to offer to the world. Because if you don't know how to do this, your skills will never be valuable. They can be valuable to you, but what is not valuable to people outside of you and your immediate environment is not a product that somebody can pay for. And the power of knowing how to productize and package your value is that that is the only thing that makes your value sellable. If something is not sellable, you cannot make money. That's why there are so many smart people, but yet they are broke. One major challenge of smart people is that they don't understand how to productize their smartness. They don't understand the business part of productizing their intelligence. I always say that if I sit with any PhD holder that truly went through their studies and they're good at what they studied, I sit with you, you cannot be broke after 12 months. You'll be a very successful and money-making PhD holder because you cannot go through school that well and that successful and lack at least 10 things that you can productize and take it to the market, even a master's degree student. If you truly study, you are not just joking in school, you truly studied and you're good at what you studied. I sit with you, I can bring out 10 products. I don't care what you study, even if it's history. I can bring out 10 products, package it, show you how to monetize it and distribute it to your target market and begin to make money. I have done it over and over and over to different people. You see, if your experience, if your skills and your knowledge isn't packaged, it can never be profitable. It's very important to understand this. If it is not packaged, see, what is not packaged as value can never be sellable, and what is not sellable can never be profitable. Because In real sense, the world doesn't really pay for just what you know. No, the world only pays for what you deliver. Hear me very well. The world, the society, the marketplace only pay for what you deliver in a format that they can buy. So there are many people, that's why I keep saying that you can see a PhD holder who is broke because they are not broke because they are not intelligent or they are not smart. You see, their problem is that they have not mastered the business part of what they're good at in a way that they can deliver in a format that people can buy. So the world does not pay just for what you have done, just for what you are intelligent at. No, the world needs something deeper. The world needs what you spend time to refine, to package, to productize, and present or deliver in a format that they can understand, see the expected outcome in their life, they will pay for it. You see, so if you are in weight loss, you are in what else? Marriage counseling. There are different people here. You are in building construction. What have you? All of those things are good grammar, good things. But if you don't know how to sit down and begin to break down that whole major thing that you think you know how to do into products, into formats that somebody can see it immediately or hear about it and begin to take actions towards it, you will have so much value, but feel as if you are useless. There are many people that they are so skilled, they are so good, but they feel useless. Because the feeling of that uselessness is because they're like, if I'm so good at this, why am I broke? Why am I struggling? Why am I not, making more than where I am today? Why am I not impacting more people the way I want to? You get the concept? Because I always say that, hear me very well. Please go again in the chat box. There are so many new people here. Type your name, what you do, and where you're located. I want to take real ideas from this community and give examples. All right, please go ahead and do that while we continue. So I always say that if it cannot be seen on YouTube, please do the same. If it cannot be seen, if it cannot be touched, if it cannot be understood, you will never get paid. For example, Mispa is into weight loss. She's a weight loss entrepreneur. Let me put it that way. And let's say she has studied different things and different, fruits and different things you can eat and consume and different set of physical exercises you can do, whatever that she packages and all of that. If she doesn't pay the price to sit down and take whatever solution that she can offer and really productize it in the right way, it will be difficult. You see, now, for example, Kanjo Sandra just wrote that she does music. You see, that is good, but that is not productized. But what if she can sing in a wedding? And what if there is somebody in this call right now who is engaged and planning for a wedding? You see, I do music is not productized because what she just said cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be understood. And that's why she cannot get paid from somebody who is probably planning a wedding in the next few weeks or few months. You get the concept. So it can get better if she says, I help or I create music that help people to fall in love and stay in love and grow in love. For example, now that is a product now out of I do music. You see, or I create music that brings families together. You get the concept. So you go deeper, and I'm going to explain more in that light. So it is important. So there are things that you can say, like somebody says, I'm a furniture expert, businessman based in Douala. Now, that is good. But you see, you can go deeper if you have the right productizing skills. There's an entrepreneur here who may be planning to actually, let's say, expand his or her business premises. You see, if Cyril goes further and says, I design corporate furniture for small and medium-sized businesses, or corporate furniture for business premises or business, whatever, in that light, he's going deeper now that anybody can understand. Or I have expertise in designing residence or residential furniture for these types of people in the society. That is now something that it can be seen, it can be understood, it makes sense, it relates, and he can get paid more by somebody reading what he just wrote. That's what I'm taking us to. Because people don't buy your effort. For example, like what Sandra said, I do music. That is really effort. But people don't buy effort. No, people don't buy effort. People pay for organized solutions that is in a sellable form. Look, what I'm about to teach you now is what I hardly teach that is not paid. I teach at the highest level of business strategy in certain circles. If you get this and do it right, for those already in business, you can scale your business times 10 in a few weeks or few months. I pray you get this. People don't buy your effort. Your effort is your business. That is your problem. I don't care if you have 10 sleepless nights every month. That is your problem. And the customers don't care about that. What they care about is, and what they pay for is, the organized solution that is in a sellable form, that after all your sleepless nights, you talk about it, they understand it, they see it, and they decide to pay for it. You see? And that productizing is that delivery system for your idea and your value. And here's the funny thing. Every expert was once a nobody. Every professional, every entrepreneur at whatever level of success and results right now was once a nobody. Until, I was still to add that, until they learned how to package what they can do in a way that somebody can understand and pay for it. You see, there are many experts that are nobodies. There are many experts without influence, many experts without income. You know why? Because many of them don't know how to productize and package what they know or what they can do. And I always found this that experts are not born. They are built through the process, through clarity, through focus, through the structure of productizing. You learn your way to becoming an expert. You're not born an expert. So anybody under the sound of my voice can become an expert in what they have chosen to do. And one major sign that validates you as an expert is your ability to productize and package your expertise in a sellable, structured format that anybody can see and have a strong desire to buy and actually pay for it. Why is productizing so important? Because it has been proven throughout economic history, throughout the business landscape, that money follows clarity. Money follows clarity. You should type that in the chat box. Money follows clarity. It sounds so, these three words sound so simple, but there are many of us here right now that we are not making that much money because we have not experienced or created clarity around what we are building. And the only way that you experience clarity or create clarity is through productizing and packaging that value that you have. So when I say money follows clarity, what I'm saying is the more clearly your value is productized and packaged, the faster money comes to you, because the faster people pay when they understand what you have productized and what you have packaged. So, one major question everybody should be asking themselves is, how clear is the value I am trying to sell? Because in business, we always say that confused buyers never buy, and confused sellers never sell. Right? So, in other words, what I'm saying is, if the value that you create is not clear through proper productizing and packaging, people who may need your value will always be confused on what you do. So confused buyers never buy, and confused sellers never sell. So productizing and packaging helps you to overcome this trouble, where there are many people that, you see, there's a difference between marketing and sell, right? Marketing is how people know you, that you exist. Sales is what you do for people to pay for what you create as value. Have you ever gone into a restaurant and you ended up not eating because maybe you were treated badly, or it was dirty, or whatever? You saw a signpost and you decided to go and eat. You see, their marketing brought you there. You see, due to I travel a lot, so I get to sleep in so many hotels around different countries, right? So, and there are hotels that I've gone to because I saw on Google and so on, and I ended up not spending the night in that hotel, or just one night and I leave. You see, their Google ads or their Google positioning brought me to the hotel, but their bad sales made me not to stay as I wanted to stay. You get a difference. So, why did I give that example? I said that confused buyers never buy. So, your good marketing can cause people to come into your inbox. But if you have not properly productized and packaged what you call your value, they will get so confused that they will not end up buying. And you will also be confused in trying to sell what is not well structured, and you will not end up selling. That's why I said money follows clarity. Value without structure will not scale that value to a whole new level. What you don't organize, you can never multiply. It's a law in life. What you cannot organize, you cannot multiply. You see, that's why God had to organize the creation of the earth, so that the earth on its own can begin to multiply and begins to grow. The law of organization, the law of structure must always be there for multiplication to happen. There are many people who want to multiply what they have not structured. You cannot expand a business. You cannot grow a business that you don't understand how to do what I'm telling you guys today. Because there are many of you here that you have enormous value. I mean, value that can change lives of people, not just within your town or your city, but across nations. But your problem is that you don't understand that value with no structure only stays in your head, and sometimes it ends up dying with you. It is on the value that you have structured, you have productized, you have packaged, that others can consume, and you keep on multiplying that consumption and become a relevant force in your industry or in your nation. It's very important. And that's why I always tell people that you can never scale a skill you haven't shaped, you haven't structured into a repeatable offer that somebody can understand and pay for it. I was talking to a young man who wanted to go international, what he or she is doing. And I look at his whole structure and things that he said. I said, look, your structure does not permit you to go global right now. What is not productized or structured the right way can never go global. You see, because in the global landscape, even in the national landscape, people don't need to be confused to consume what you have as value. No, no. What scales and go international, national, what have you, regional, is what you have structured through productizing and packaging. That's why in business, people spend a lot of time crafting a good name around a product, an idea, an event, or what have you. Why is that important? Because history has proven over time, years after years, hundreds of years in the business world, that people buy what they can name. Oh, yes. People buy what they can name. People buy what they understand. People buy what fits into their world, into their context. And productizing and packaging helps you to give the name that people can buy and understand and pay for it. You see, so it's important to understand that, to make sure that you go through the process of truly productizing what you call your value. Many of you have shared what you all do, and 99% of what I've seen, and that's why you see, when you understand productizing, when you go to a networking event, it's easier for you to get good partners and have good deals because you will be communicating what you have productized. You see, and you make money easily. You make money easily. So let's say somebody said he is into currency exchange. That is good. But you cannot scale that in, let's say, a networking event or in people that matter. But if you go further and you say, hey, I have experience in helping people travel all continents and gain access to foreign currencies that can help them practice universal trade at that level. If you drive a discussion like that in a networking event, you can get people that matter to partner with your business because you're speaking the language that they understand. Right? So I had to lay that introduction so that you understand how powerful this skill is. So there are about 10 things that I want to talk about around the concept of productizing and packaging what you call your value, your skill, your knowledge, or your experience. And everybody has something that they can productize. For entrepreneurs that you already own your own business and you're making money, there are a lot of things within that business that if you perfect in productizing and packaging, you can increase the price by 10, 20% and still make a lot more money. And there are some of you that you're selling one thing that if you practice productizing, that one thing can be broken down into 2, 3 products and you still sell very well and make good money out of it. That's the power of productizing. So this, what we're talking about, it doesn't matter at what level you are in your business. You're just starting, you have never made one single sale. You can practice this. You're doing this and you're making 10 million francs a month in your sales in business. You can still practice this. So contextualize it based on where you are. All right. The first step that you can practice in productizing and packaging what you call your value is, I always tell people, start with your wins. Start with what you are good at winning at. You see, because Productizing starts by identifying repeatable value that you consistently create. Start from there. What kind of repeatable value do you consistently create for people? Document it, write it down. Because people don't buy your titles. People buy your results. People buy what your transformation can do for them after consuming your product or your service. So start with documenting what have you done that created real outcomes in the lives of other people. What have you done in the last 5 years, last 10 years? Can you write it down? Start from there. Don't bother about the perfect grammar, perfect naming. No, our goal here is just write down what you have done that created real outcomes for other people. It can be in the current company where you work as an employee. And if you want to create more value when you leave that company around what you're currently doing, then do that. If you want to do a side business or whatever with a different skill, okay, practice that in that area. You see, this is important because your credibility, hear me very well, your credibility in what you're doing grows faster when you lead with results that people can relate to. So let's say if I'm the one, I don't just say, let's say if I'm having a discussion with somebody reaches out to me online, email, WhatsApp, or I go to a conference, somebody asks me and say, what do you do? I don't say I'm a consultant. No. Based on the kind of event, I have different ways I present myself. Somebody say, what do you do? Sometimes I would just say, in 2024, I helped 90 businesses to double their profit in 6 months. That's what I do. I can do that for your company. That's a productized statement. Anybody who hears that would like to have a better discussion with me. I don't say I'm a trainer. No. I have to productize my statement. And I productize it from where I have wins. That's why I said start with your wins. Start with your wins. Let me go back to let me see. I want to pick an example. Okay, let me use Clarence. Clarence is an amazing teacher. Clarence, you are a head teacher now, right? In a school. Now, let's say that Clarence has a side business where he helps kids to increase their literacy skills, how to read, write, and even their numerical skills. And Clarence goes to a meeting. Instead of Clarence saying, I am a head teacher or I'm a teacher, Clarence can decide and say, because he wants to productize what he's good at, and he wants to start productizing from his past wins, Clarence can say, I help any struggling teenager who is struggling with literacy skills to start reading and writing at an excellent level in 6 months, or in 4 months, or in 3 months. That sends a different message with the person he is talking with. And that is what makes people to buy. Because it makes it easier for people to understand. You see, so it's important that we understand how to drive this conversation. Because every productizable skill always starts as a repeatable win that you have recorded as a professional. Package the outcome, not the effort. What have you created in the past? And I always tell people that, look, if you have created a repeatable outcome more than once with significant result, you are sitting on a money-making product. Just productize it and communicate it in a way that people can pay for it. You see? So define the real results that you have created in your past. 2 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago? What have you? Because if your idea doesn't solve a clear problem, it is not a product yet. You need to convert it to that level. That's why you start with your win. So, what pain have you solved in the past? What outcome do people talk about after encountering you or walk away with after encountering you as a professional? So start by productizing your repeatable win. Let's do a quick example right now. I gave an example. I said, I don't just say I am a consultant. If somebody says, or better say, I help 3 companies last month to grow their sales by 200%. And you see, it's a more, when you do that, it's just different. The people just, in a networking event or WhatsApp message, you see, many people sound so general and so common like every human being. And that's why they cannot drive strong conversations that lead to lasting business partnerships or career opportunities. I always encourage people, find better ways to introduce yourself. It gets you more deals and more opportunities and more platforms. Don't be general. All right. So go ahead. Do one in the chat box. Don't say I am into furniture. Don't say I am a teacher. Don't say I am a music. I do music. Don't say I do natural fruit juice. Now package it. Instead of saying I am a teacher, how can you say that? Maybe you take your previous experience in the last 2 years, 2 academic years, or whatever, and you can pick just one, maybe literacy, numerical skills, or what you're good at. And you say, in 2024, I helped 10 kids to increase their literacy skills by 80%. And after going through my literacy program, in just 3 months, they could read and write, and they are now among the top 5 students in their class. It sends a different message. And that is productizing at the lowest level. And if you can start from this level, you can perfect it and you grow this, right? I know people are thinking, keep thinking about it. It's a challenge for some people, but that is how you do business. Okay. Now, number two, the second thing that you can also do in productizing and packaging your value and your skill set or your experience or your knowledge is spend some time to extract your transformation process. What is the transformation process that you really go through to create the expected outcomes in the lives of people? Extract the transformation process. Have it documented. You see, it's a powerful way to productize and package your value. And to practice this transformation process or to extract it, I always encourage people to ask 3 questions. Follow me carefully. 3 questions. What problem do I solve? For some ideas and some things that some of you are doing, you can solve more than one problem. For example, somebody who said he's into furniture, right? He can solve problems for business people, problems for schools, for churches, for residential homes. These are 4 different huge markets. You see, so what problem do you solve for these people? Start extracting your transformation process from there. That is another important step to productizing what you are good at. After that, how do you solve it? How do you solve this problem? If a customer reaches out to you now and they pay, do you have a documented process that you go through in solving their problem? The third question to ask is, what steps do I take every time? Now, this is important to help you pick out a clear pattern that at some point in your journey, you can even hire people to copy and paste your pattern and you continue to scale your business and make more money. So, what problem do you solve? How do you solve it? Go back memory lane and look at what steps do I always take every time to solve this kind of problem. Remember, you are extracting your transformation process. It helps you to productize and package your value in a way that people will rave about it and happily pay for it. So the goal here is you begin to turn it into a structure. You see, it could be that the structure could be step one, you clarify. Step two, you map out. Step three, you build. Step four, you deliver, depending on the kind of value that you create. But this becomes your framework, the backbone of your offer. See, so extract your transformation process by answering those questions. Because anytime you break it into steps, let's say another question that you can ask yourself is, what are the 3 to 5 steps or 3 to 7 steps or 1, 2 to 3 steps, whatever you do. But what are the 3 to 5 steps, for example, that someone must take to get the results that you offer? It's still part of extracting your transformation process. You see, let's say, for example, somebody here said that she is, I want to pick somebody else. Okay, let's get a health, a marriage family counselor, right? Now, young couple, and this young couple, marriage is the only thing that they give you certificates before you start the school, right? So, young couple, 12 months in marriage, or 24 months, or 4 years, they're still battling in gaining stability. And in the past, 2 or 3 times, you have helped some other young couples to really experience stability and maturity in their marriage. But because you did not know of the idea of productizing your marriage counseling offer or coaching offer, now you want to do it. You can go back now and begin to look at, in those 2 instances, what steps did I take every time to help this young couple to experience stability? That is productizing. You begin to document it. And sometimes you can look at the question from another angle. What are the 3 to 5 steps that if a young couple come to me and I take them through or I walk them through, it will help them to get the result I offer as a marriage counselor? You're extracting that transformation process. It's a powerful way to productize. And the more you extract it, the more you see many offers, many products that you can charge and get paid. And you can see that, oh, I can also do this. I can also do this. You begin to package it. And before you know it, you discover that even though you're just a marriage counselor, but you can have 5 different counseling products for 5 different types of couples in the society. Like the person who said this, for example, you're in UK, right? And there are African couples that come to the UK. It's a new environment, many things. You can create a structured marriage counseling framework to help couples in a strange land to get established so that their marriage is not destroyed, because in a new land, things are different, things are sometimes more challenging, more abusing, and so on. But you have studied the whole pattern, the whole environment. You have even interviewed more successful couples. You now create a more real practical transformational structure. But you can start thinking at that level because you are extracting your transformation process. When you begin to do this, you are able to productize a lot more in what you're doing. Awesome. I love the feedback I'm seeing in the chat box. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. You see, so that's why I always spend time to help people do this. And I'm currently admitting about 10 people in helping them to productize their ideas and their value into something that they can sell. And my goal is that if I sit down with anybody, I want to help them live with 3 products that they can sell. What we call the low offer, medium offer, and premium offer. I want to help you create a product that you can sell at a very affordable price so that money can keep coming in. I always tell people, one thing to be good at in business is create a system that you can have a daily bang alert, a daily income coming in. One way to do that is create a low offer product. Nice product, very cheap, affordable. Then have a medium, product that is more advanced, maybe ×2 of the lower product. Then always have a product that you can sell to the rich people, right? That you can, if you have 1 client in 1 month, you are doing well financially. So I want to add, I have some more time in my calendar right now. I want to add about 10 people. For those who are interested, right? That thing, to do that with you, that means I literally do more than 80% of the work for you. I sit down with you, I get everything in your head, what you do, and I go back to my drawing board and I create different products for you, from the product, the description, how to market it, how to distribute it, and even how to deliver it if you need that help, right? You're interested, you can indicate interest. That offer is a 1-month program I do with individuals, 250,000 francs. You're interested, right? No discount, no whatever. If you don't pay for it, it's okay, right? I will not do anything about that, right? You don't pay for it, I'm good. You pay for it, I'm good, right? So if you're interested, you can send me feedback and we get it done for you. So I'm done with extracting your transformation process. Number 3, the third thing that you can do. So I want to give us different angles that you can look at this from, okay? And you can pick 1, 2, 3, or 4, practice them so that you can get a lot of value from what you already have. And then you productize as much as you can in order to market it, okay? So decide your packaging lane. Now, this is very important in, packaging and productizing. Decide your packaging lane. Now, let me explain. This is important because there are some of you here that you are just in the service industry and that is your lane. There are some of you here that you are in the product industry, right? Many of you are in, like somebody said that he is into furniture, that is product, right? Some people you can cut across service and product, that is hybrid. But decide your packaging lane. Are you packaging a service or are you packaging a finished tangible product, or you're packaging the two? You see, like for example, I know that like Mespa, she's into weight loss business and things like that. Now that part of her product is a physical product. So she is into, her lane is hybrid. Apart from her giving you services, coaching, and consulting, but her consulting package or coaching package is not complete without you having access to her physical product. So she is in the hybrid lane. So in what you're doing, are you in service, product, or hybrid? And there are some that you can start with a service and you can end up deciding to add a product along the way. But decide your packaging and productizing lane at the beginning. Okay? Now, for example, there's a lady, there's a man in Yaoundé, Cameroon. One time that I did work with him, and he is into marriage counseling too. And I was just talking with him. He was asking questions. I was like, so why are you not organizing special weekend programs or things like that? He never thought about that. I said, look, create a package. And so you're taking couples to Kribi for the weekend and break it down. That you're targeting on the couples that are stressed, they're too busy, and their stress and busyness is affecting their marriage. It's affecting their intimacy and their time together. Take the criteria from that angle. Put a price tag. He did it, put a price tag. I think about 500,000 francs. Even the guy was shocked that he got 10 couples to go to Kribi with him to have fun on the beach, stay in a five-star hotel, and then he provided marriage counseling to them. You see, at the beginning, he was just focusing on services. But now, at some point, because of our meeting, he added kind of a little product. Now we need a physical, activity to happen for his value to be understood and to be paid for at the highest level. So for some people, in what you do, you just guide people, right? So how do you package it into either, is it coaching calls? Is it workshops? Is it PDF templates? What have you? Because if you guide people, don't overcomplicate the whole process, especially if you're starting. No, start with a simple coaching call or a simple session and you're good to go. You see, if you make things, if you build things, like some of you who are like into furniture and building construction, how can you package it into well understood bundles and products or kits or even pictures? If you cannot carry it around in a way that when you present it in a productized way, somebody can understand it. You see, it's very important. Or if you are caught in between the hybrid model, service plus a physical product, the same thing. Do the same thing. But decide your productizing and packaging lane. Are you productizing and packaging a service, or are you productizing and packaging a product that somebody needs to touch with their hands? Decide that. It's very important. And then you go through the extraction process if you need to do, or you start with your wins and begin to perfect it. Okay. Number 4, give your offer a signature name or method. Actually, this is one of the most powerful things that I have seen, that it has worked with different people that I've worked with. Give your offer a signature method and name. You see, anything with a good name gets remembered. And people don't share what they cannot remember. And a good signature name or a good signature method makes your service or your value or your offer very shareable. You see, and you cannot talk about structure without talking about a signature method or a signature name. Follow me carefully. Because a signature name makes your offer to feel structured, to be tested, and even to be trusted. And I'll explain what I mean by signature method and signature name. But in all that you all are doing, you need to give a signature method and a signature name to whatever you are giving out as value. Is a major component of productizing. If whatever you're selling as value, or the multiple products you're selling, if you have not given them signature names or signature methods, there is a discrepancy in what you're building. You are not respecting a very important concept of productizing and packaging what you're offering. You see, because people pay you faster when you offer anything that sounds or looks like a proven system and not a random idea. They pay it faster because they understand faster. You see, so let us say, for example, let's say there's somebody here who is into business consulting, for example, right? So you create a coaching offer. You didn't just say a coaching offer, no, or a coaching product, no. Or you're into marriage counseling or mental health counseling. You create something like that. You don't just say what it is. No, spend some time, think through it, and create a signature method name. You see, for example, one service I created one time was what I call the clarity to cash method. Clarity to cash method. Targeting people that have ideas and don't know how to convert those ideas into money. That's a signature method or name. The clarity to cash method. You see, let's say that you are here and you are into personal development coaching. You don't just organize programs and say, come for my personal development coaching. No. Nobody's going to understand and pay for it. It's better you say, you can say the 4-week confidence improvement method. So anybody who sees it, they're like, oh, if I have low confidence, low self-confidence, if I attend this coaching or this boot camp, in 4 weeks, I will improve my self-confidence and become a highly self-confident person. That's a concept. Signature method name offer. And I see many people making big mistakes with this particular idea. If I start interviewing many of you here, 99% of you don't have signature method or name offers. You see, so whatever you're creating as value or things like that, you have to break it down. Sit down and create the signature method or name for those things. Right? Because a name will always turn your offer into a brand. So anytime you're giving a name to what you're productizing, ask yourself, does this name makes this value sound like a brand on its own? It's very important. It must sound like a brand on its own. Because people don't buy what is vague. They buy what feels proven and packaged. So there are some names that, like for example, the 4-week confidence improvement bootcamp. You see, the name is not vague. It feels proven. Oh, 4 weeks. Confidence improvement. It's packaged. I can pay for it. You see, you're into marriage counseling and you are like, 8 weeks marriage makeover counseling program. See, I'm just trying to think on my feet. But if I sit with every idea, we can begin to create those signature method names that when somebody reads it or somebody hears it, they see the process, the outcome, the promise, and they can even picture who they will become after consuming what you are selling. So for many of you here already, especially many of you that are already in business, you already have existing value you have been struggling to sell. Maybe the missing piece in what you're trying to sell is to spend some time and create some very good signature method and name from that, right? So it is very important. Let's say like Reverend Violet is saying, in the past 3 months, I have helped 8 marriages, eight marriage couple to find peace in their marriages. So good. 3 months, 8 marriages. That is a lot of experience and a lot of proven systems that you already have there. And maybe in that process, you have seen different types of marriages, you see, and you have proven over that, hey, if you give me 3 months with your marriage, I can turn your marriage into a peaceful, joyful, happy marriage. You see, she cannot go further and say, okay, how can I create a signature method name from what I have been able to achieve in these marriages? She cannot say, for example, regain your marriage in one weekend. You get the concept? That's a signature name right there. Regain your marriage in one weekend by the beach. She may add that there. It's not common. It's not average. It's not basic. And if any couple sees any husband, any wife, and their marriage is already in turmoil and trouble, they already say that, oh, one weekend, peace comes back to my marriage. They're seeing so many outcomes as they're hearing it and as they're reading it. And the only option they have to do is, how much does it cost? When can I pay? If you know that you need to work on this signature method name, type me in the chat box. Type me in the chat box, right? So when you're creating, let me round up on this signature method and name. When you're creating this name, always ensure that your name should carry a promise or a picture of what the buyer will get, right? Let that name is better that way. Let that, like for example, the 4-week confidence improvement bootcamp. You see, that name carries the promise and the picture of what anybody who pays for it will get it. So don't do naming of what you're creating based on grammar, based on what is trending, based on your ego. No, go for clarity, go for promise, and go for ensuring that let anybody who sees it or hears it for the first time, let them have a strong desire to consume it. Because one thing about this signature method and naming is that it makes what you're offering to feel official and special and relatable to particular people. And it also gives you authority when you're presenting it, when you're talking about it. And then when you spend more time in promoting it, it helps you to be known for something specific. And that's how experts rise. You see, experts don't rise on what is general. No, experts rise based on what they have given a good name and they're good at. And everybody knows that this signature name belongs to Reverend Violet. If you come to the marriage counseling and coaching industry in Cameroon, you see this product around this name. This product belongs to Reverend Violet. You see, because she has created it, she has packaged it, she has marketed it, and everybody in the industry knows that this signature name belongs to her and nobody else. So spend some time. For many of you, this is one major shift that if you do it and practice it, it's going to change how much you make and even how much you charge as far as what you are creating value for is concerned. Now, number 5 is name the outcome and sell the result. I have spoken about this a bit under point 4, but I want to focus on this on a separate lane. Name the outcome, sell the result. Anytime that you're productizing your value, you are productizing your skills and your experience, the more you focus on naming your outcome the right way and selling the result of that outcome or the result itself, the more you're going to productize and package something that is powerful. You see, don't sell your system. For example, in a sales conversation, don't sell your system. Nobody cares about your system. No, Talk about the result. Name the outcome in the sales conversation. So when you're productizing your value and your experience, and you start thinking of the sales conversation, you're going to productize it better. How can I present it to a client in a way that they will understand and pay for it without confusion? So don't sell the system, sell the success your system creates. You see, let's go back to, let's say, Reverend Violet creating a program, one weekend to regain your marriage. And the goal is, I will take them to, if they're coming from Douala, and the goal is I'm taking them to Kribi. Let's assume that, does Kribi have a local airport? No idea. But let's assume that Kribi has a local airport. And she decides that, every couple, they're going to fly to Kribi. Just part of her giving a premium service, you see, in what she's doing. And in Kribi, they are picked up in a Prado or a Jeep, high level society Jeep, right? They stay in a 5-star hotel. She created a program for morning, afternoon, and evening. You see, that is the system for her to create the outcome. But when she's having the sales conversation, her goal is not to sell her system. Her goal is to sell the success that the system creates. Right? Now, instead of saying, you see, what you're paying for is that I'm going to take you guys are going to fly to Kribi. You see, it's expensive like this because we are paying the flight tickets and not buses. No, don't say you're selling your system. Say, what should you say now? You can say, now, imagine you and your spouse sitting in business class, holding hands on your way to have a beautiful weekend in Kribi. It's still in the same area, but the conversation is different. She is selling the success and the experience that the system creates. So instead of saying, this costs 500,000 francs because, when you land in Kribi, we have rented very expensive Prados to carry you. No, don't sell your system. Don't do that. You don't do that. Say no. Now imagine you land in Kribi and there is a young lady with beautiful flowers to give you and your husband. And there's a Prado just for you two to carry you to your 5-star hotel, to treat you special and as a high-class couple that you are. You see, you're selling the success of the system. You're selling the experience and not the system. Many people sell the system, and that's why they don't sell very well. And you want pity. No, stop selling pity and the system. Sell the experience and the success behind the system. Are you seeing how I'm driving the conversation? That is what makes money. That's what makes people to even go and borrow money and buy for what you're selling. Because of how you are driving the conversation in that particular light. Right? So let's say that you're here. Is there anybody here who is into coaching, like personal development coaching, these things that people do? Anybody here, are you into coaching in that area? I want to use that example. Right? I think I saw one of these ladies that is to coaching. Now, let's say that you are into coaching in things like self-esteem, self-confidence, things in that light, right? Mindsetting, those things are very important in the society. So instead of saying, I help you with mindset, no. You are not naming the outcome. You are not selling the result. It is better you say, I help you when you are stuck to gain clarity and to launch your life into a whole new level in 30 days. That is different. You are selling the result. I help you with a stuck mindset, with a mindset that is full of strongholds, limiting your success. I help you gain clarity and speed and advancement in just 30 days. Or let's say there's somebody here that you are in fashion. Anybody here into fashion, fashion designer, tailoring? Anybody here? Right? You're into fashion, you're into tailoring. Don't say somebody asks, what do you do? I am a fashion designer. I make clothes. No, that's not for you. Play a bigger game. Go different. You can say, for example, I help African women to look elegant in custom made occasion specific dresses. Different. You're selling the result. I help African women look elegant in custom made occasion specific dresses. I help African women, African men to look gentle in style with well designed, custom made, occasion specific suits or African dresses. You get the concept. That's how you do that. You are selling the result, not the system. Not the system. You see, if you are into coaching, I want to talk about weight loss, right? Don't say I do a weekly wellness program or I coach you to lose your weight. That's too basic. You will struggle to make more sales in that light. Buyers want to hear something like, I help you to lose 10 pounds or 10 kilograms in 30 days of well-researched, proven programs. Sounds different and it sounds special. Why? Because people pay for outcomes, not processes. Process is your problem. Outcomes is what they want. Your process should create the outcomes. So when you're productizing, you're focusing on what is the process I go through to create what type of outcomes for these people. You see, because a typical buyer don't ask how. No. A typical buyer, their main focus is, will this work for me? How is too strategic. If I'm buying something for you, I don't care how you produce it actually. I don't care. If I'm buying or I'm asking you further questions or I'm driving a sales conversation with you, I want you to convince me in your sales conversation that this will work for me. I am not interested in how you created the value. I am interested in, does the outcome from your value work for me? So your goal here is to speak the result. And you cannot go further and begin to back up with your steps. But these steps, you are not communicating the steps in a technical way. No, you're communicating the steps to create an experience. If your offer isn't clear on the results, if you're productizing, your major aim should be, how do I make this value so clear on the result? Because attention follows clarity and money follows clarity. So when you do this, you will be able to record some amazing success. All right. I have shared with us just 5 things that you can do, all of these, or one of these, or 2 of these, in productizing your idea, your value into a well understood package or product that somebody can pay for. Tomorrow, I will still share, I have about 18 different strategies to do this. I will share about 4 more, and then we are done. And the last part of this morning school is I want to cover a bit on online distribution and commercialization, right? So we're going to do that after maybe this was supposed to be 4 days, but I've not finished this. And if I end in number 5, I think I've not given you guys enough strategies under this. I'm gonna give you 4 more tomorrow. And then um, this morning school was supposed to be 4 days, right? Whereby if you guys are available, we can meet again next week on Wednesday morning. That's 4 a.m. And I take you guys on another short teaching on the distribution and commercialization of your idea, especially through the online platforms and social media, right? Because if I share all of this and I don't talk about leveraging on social media and different platforms to begin to commercialize and distribute the value you have created, I've not helped you, because that's where the real money making really starts, right? All right. I hope this helped many of you. Was this helpful? Was this helpful?